Hey there everybody, welcome back to Life with the Villamores channel. So this evening what we're going to be doing, we are going to trim a USDA prime brisket. It's about 15 pounds. I'm going to show you how I do it. Let's get to it. Okay, welcome back. So first off, check out what I'm sporting here. Shout out to my sister, who happens to be visiting behind the camera here. She did the little artwork right here, as well as did this for me. So shout out, love you, sis. So let's get to trimming this brisket. This is how I do it. There are a ton of brisket trimming videos that are out there. Hey, this is Life with the Villamores. I just want to show you how I do it and how we're gonna backyard barbecue. So we're gonna get us a backyard smoking going on tomorrow with this 15-pound beast. Of course, after we trim it, it's probably gonna be around 12 pounds, but let's get to it. So you can see we got this at Costco's today. This is the fat side, there's the meaty side. We'll start by making a little incision there. Don't wanna cut the meat. It's always best to go ahead and cut the fat. Okay, so we got it patted dry. You can see part of this decal fat right here. We'll get to that in a minute. What I like to do is get the edges so I can see the meat. We're gonna cut off this layer of fat, plus there's some oxidation that's on the side here. Just like this. You definitely need a good sharp knife. All of the fat and any of the extra meat, they're not gonna go to waste. We're gonna save it all and we're gonna make beef tallow. We're gonna make some smash burgers tomorrow because this is going to be eaten on Sunday. Okay. Just kind of squaring out. There we go. Get some of this fat here. All right, so this decal fat right here, you can already see how my hand can get in there. My fingers, I should say. So we're just gonna go and trim a little bit and it will start to come out. We don't need to dig down too deep, but we're gonna get rid of most of this because this just won't all render. There we go. You can see some great marbling here on the point. This is the flat part. You see the grains going this way. And this part here and underneath, that's the point. The grains go this way. So that looks pretty good. We're gonna round this off. You wanna try to stay away from sharp corners when you're smoking. I have a pellet smoker and not an offset. So the convection is a bit different than an offset, but you really want to try to round off all your edges. With this, we're going to get some of this fat off right here, get some of the silver skin, so we're just going to work on this side. And let me get to this and I'll get back to you when this is all off. So there we go. You could spend all day long, all night long trimming this, getting silver skin, getting every little bit out. This is a backyard barbecue, so this right here at least is good enough. We'll work on this here more in a minute. We're gonna turn this beast around, work on the fat, as well as this mohawk that's right here. But as you can see, I cut right here. You can see how thick the fat is. You want this to be about 1/4 inch, all right? That's already about 1/2 inch, so we're gonna cut that down. We're probably gonna square this off a little bit more. Let's do that before. There we go. See, it's a lot of fat. Let's turn that puppy around and we'll start to trim some of this fat off. And the way you want to trim this fat off, you can always take off just a little bit, but you can't put it back if you cut off too much. Don't worry if you make a little divot where you touch the meat. Just stop, reposition your blade. And that's all we're doing is just some thin strips for now. We'll do it a little thin strip at a time. This is also the part where you want your meat to be very cold. Otherwise this fat will become very gelatinous. And it makes it very difficult to work with. So I had this in a freezer for probably about 45 minutes. That's kind of an important step to remember, as you definitely want to work on your brisket while it's cold. And as you're doing this, you can feel the fatty areas to see how firm it is. Like this is still really kind of a hard ridge, so I know I can take a little bit more. I get right to here, that's fairly soft, plus you can see kind of the meat underneath, so that's already enough. So I still got to work on this part. Let's continue that. So this part right here is a point which is well marbled. If you happen to get down to the meat like I did right here, I did that on purpose. This is going to be able to take that low temperature for a long time because it has a lot of fat within it. This right here is the mohawk, and what I'm going to do is take the mohawk completely off. That's going to go in here for some hamburger tomorrow. That's that part of that decal fat right here. You don't want to really, there's so many schools of thought, and this is all up to you on how you want to do this. This right here, I like to take out a bit more because it is a lot of fat. However, when you do the cook and you do your carving, it's okay that you can cut the fat out. Not all of it's going to render. So another part, you can see right here that there's not much meat. This will burn, all right, on a long cook. You really would like to have about a thumb thickness of meat to have when you cook. And this whole section right here has got to come off. So I think what we're gonna do is about like this. Let's take a look. There we go. Then we come back here. Yep, see, we got a thumb thickness all the way around. We don't want any points. A lot of people get really freaky deaky about how much you cut off a brisket. All of it's going to be used. And this is where it comes in handy, having a meat grinder, which my lovely wife got me for Christmas. And now all the extra trimmings, we're going to be able to use to make some wonderful brisket hamburgers. So all I'm going to do here, just round these corners off. Now, I'm going to tell you this, you don't even have to trim a brisket. There's many people out there who have done videos on brisket straight out of the package and cooked it. You can do that. That's not an issue whatsoever. You're going to have a lot of fat on it. You're going to have a lot of trimming the fat off when you're finally done with the cook. But that's all completely up to you. So right now this is looking pretty good. Let's pour the point. Let's kind of round this off just a tad. All right, there we go. So we're looking pretty good. Just a little bit more off of here. You spend as much time as you want to trimming this. You trim it how you want to. Rule of thumb is this is the point. This part is a flat right here. This is a very lean meat, as you can see. There's hardly any fat. So you want to protect at least the back side of it. That's why we leave about a 1/4 inch, at least 1/4 inch right here. The point is extremely fatty. So if you break it down to the meat, that's good. It's going to render. This is going to be like butter. That's all I can tell you. It's going to taste wonderful. So right here, let's smooth that out just a tad bit more. Like I said, you can spend a lot of time trimming a brisket. It really is. However you want to trim it. There we go. All right. There we go. That's the way that I trim a brisket. Every brisket is different, so you will trim differently every single time. And what is right for me may not be right for you. You may look at this video and go, what did he do right there? But let me tell you, this is all the excess. This is not going to go to waste. We're gonna make some outstanding hamburger with this and render some beef tallow tomorrow. So what I'm gonna do here, now that it's all finished, hopefully you have learned something. I am going to season this on up, and I think this time I'm gonna use a base. I'm gonna use a mustard base. Typically I don't do that, but I'm gonna go ahead and use a mustard base. Gonna use some Texas style rub on this, season it all up, top, bottom, make sure you get all the sides. It's gonna sit in the refrigerator all night, and I'm gonna get the smoking as early as I can tomorrow. And tomorrow's video, I'm gonna talk about high altitude cooking on a brisket and just in general. So I've been asked to do a video on that. Since we live at 7,000 feet, we're gonna give it a go. Kind of not gonna get too scientific on you, try to keep this as layman as possible because I'm a simple guy myself as well, and just kind of tell you what my experiences are. Hopefully you got something out of this video and learned how to trim a brisket, at least the way I trim it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment. If you like this, please do us a favor. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and share the heck out of this channel. We're trying to grow. But we appreciate you all. Love you all our friends and family.